Alright, what's up, gang? Today we're going to be talking about one of the craziest scam, influencer cases I've ever heard of ever. Even before I've done commentary, YouTube, anything that I've ever heard before. So if you guys do watch commentary channels at all, then you've definitely at one point either heard somebody talk about or just watched a CoffeeZilla video. And in CoffeeZilla's most recent video, he basically exposed one of, like I said, the biggest scams I've ever heard. That's usually what he does. He usually talks about scams, but this one is millions upon millions of dollars, so many countless creators and people impacted by it. So today, I'm basically just gonna kind of summarize what CoffeeZilla said. If you have any interest after this video in this situation, go check out his video. This video is just a regurgitation of basically that video. So there's this guy, Ryan Piacente, who runs this merch company called Revolt. He also works with the Misfits, but that's not really important right now. So Revolt is basically this company where if you're an influencer, you can go to them and say, hey, me want merch, me work with you, me make money, you take cut. That's basically how it works. So what happens is you're an influencer, you go to this company and you have your merch designs and you go, hey, I want these to be made. And then Revolt has all of the different, shirts and hoodie templates or whatever for you to work on, and then they ship them out, they have their tags or whatever, and it's basically just you working with this company to make your merch, so that way you don't have to fucking make an entire fucking t-shirt factory in your backyard. So like I said, whenever Revolt sells any merchandise, they take a small cut of it, and since they work with some of the biggest creators on the entire internet, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that, every Minecraft YouTuber you could think of, fucking Mr. Beast, all these different people, even Schlatt, the beloved Schlatt, they've worked with everybody you can think of who's come up and released merch in the past few years, and they take a small cut of that and they made millions upon millions of dollars, so much unfathomable money. But Ryan, basically the guy behind all of this, was very bad at spending his money. He would spend it on just about fucking anything he possibly could, and it wouldn't even be money that was profit that he had made. The way that Revolt worked was basically an influencer would come and they'd say, hey, me make merch, and then they'd sell the merch, and then instead of paying the influencer that, had now made all this money off this merchandise, another influencer comes by, they do the same thing, and then they pay the first influencer with the second influencer's profit money. So basically it's just this repetitive cycle where everybody has to make more and more money or whatever, and it eventually is going to come to an end. I mean, their organization, their finances were so bad that there is still countless people who have ordered merchandise that happen to have been made with Revolt who have not gotten it yet. They ordered it years ago. They never got their merch. And the thing that's so sad to me about this is, if you guys have ever looked at YouTuber merch, this shit is expensive. I mean, $50 for a hoodie, all this money, it's so expensive for these merchandise, for this just YouTube merch. It's just a regular ass hoodie, but they put fucking Mr. Beast on it. Now it's all, so expensive. And I can just imagine all these countless kids who, have been watching this YouTuber for years. They save up, get all this money, they're 10 or 12 years old, they're so excited to get this hoodie, they buy it, $50 fucking dollars, $55 after shipping, and it never shows up. I'd be so sad if that was my kid, and this has happened to so many people because of Revolt being just such a shitty company. One instance of them just being absolutely fucking ridiculous with their finances is, one time they were, they were doing a merch line with Mr. Beast, and they did these predictions, Mr. Beast, you're gonna make X amount of money, you're gonna make millions. It was I'm not kidding, millions upon millions of dollars on this one merch drop with Revolt. And they're you're gonna make all this money if you work with us in just this little amount of time. And so Mr. Beast worked with them. They didn't meet the predictions, and instead of talking to Mr. Beast or doing whatever the fuck you do whenever you make impossible predictions, they instead raised the price of the original hoodie so that way they could make more profit off it. And I'll elaborate on that a little bit. So obviously, whenever you're selling merch, it starts off as just a regular template solid color hoodie from a factory, and then you get your design printed on it, and then you sell it. So those solid, prints or whatever, after they put the design on them, they were costing them, basically upping the charge of those by just a few dollars for every single one, so that way Revolt could make just a little bit more profit off every single one of them. That is the shadiest shit ever. Just marking up the price of this product a little bit just so that way you can meet these fucking expectations that they knew were impossible. Inside employees literally said that these expectations that they set for this this Mr. Beast drop were impossible, and they knew that. So they had that, like, I guess, as a backup plan, which, and let's just think about how fucking stupid that is, because obviously somebody's gonna catch on whenever they realize that they spent, you know, all this money extra on these hoodies whenever they, you know, didn't need to or whatever. That's not what they predicted to spend. And I can honestly say that for so many things about this situation, where it's like, how did, you know, Ryan or whatever, the fucking guy behind all of this, ever stop to think maybe, you know, people are gonna catch on? Because this shit is so obvious. Like, it's whenever you change shit like that, it's just a ticking time bomb before people have to report their tax and then realize, you know, they spent all this extra money on this or that, for them to realize how fucked up this is. And because of all the bullshit or whatever, you know, the company eventually shut down. But there's one thing that happened that at like the end of their lifespan that's just insane to me, and it's that they would literally donate merchandise to just charities. So people who had bought these hoodies, you know, like I said, people have, you know, wasted all this money or whatever, saved up for so long to get these YouTuber hoodies that are so overpriced. They buy them, and not only do they never get them, but they had them the entire time, and they just end up in different, like, at fucking Goodwills or something. They just donate them, and they just end up in random places. I guess because it was easier for Revolt to get rid of the merch like that, and they needed to, so they just gave it away. And I mean, that was literally people's merch, bro. And instead of just shipping it away and doing the right thing, they just fucking did the easy thing and just gave it away. Just give fucking make it somebody else's problem. And then, of course, like basically everybody else on the internet, eventually Ryan ended up in so many, you know, predator allegations, all of this. I mean, I'm not gonna go crazy too in depth with it, because it's just the same kind of shit you always hear whenever it's like a real situation and not just allegations. But one of the main things he would do is he would, I guess, like drug people a lot and then do weird shit to them. Multiple people came out saying they got sexually assaulted by Ryan. I'm assuming a lot of this happened just a little bit after the fact, after, you know, the whole fucking Revolt situations happened. And, you know, so many people are just saying, you know, this dude's a fucking terrible guy, but they didn't want to go too in depth with it, I guess, because, you know, this dude has like a lot of power. I mean, he's top dog of all this YouTuber merch or whatever the fuck. But one thing that he did that was so weird that stuck out to me through this video is that he would use the Misfits money to buy nudes from Misfits fans. So like I said in the beginning of the video, Ryan's also behind a lot of stuff with the Misfits, or I guess was behind a lot of them. And you don't really have to know who the Misfits are for this to make sense. But basically, they're just this group of YouTubers who, you know, make videos together, and they sell merchandise. And what Ryan would do, since he was behind some of the business aspects of the Misfits, is he would take their money, the business Misfits account money, and he would fucking use it for his weird pedophile shit and buy like thousands upon $1,000 nudes from Misfits fans, basically manipulating their fans, fucking, you know, fueling this weird ass addiction that he has that's just so like weird to me. Like, again, with the shit, like, that is so, like, you're gonna get caught so fast doing that shit, because eventually, like, one of the Misfits is gonna be like, hey, there's like all this money missing out of our business account, and the only person who manages that is fucking Ryan. You know, like, that, it's so obvious. All this shit, you put 2 and 2 together, and it takes 5 minutes for a fucking 4-year-old to be able to do this shit in fucking daycare, and they would be able to figure out all these discrepancies. But yeah, after all these allegations came out, after, you know, all these people realized how bullshit this is, and Coffee wanted to start making his video, which again is where all this information is sourced from, Coffee tried to reach out to Ryan 7 times over the course of 2 months. So it obviously just goes to show you that this dude had absolutely no plan B, and I mean, it's pretty good to see. Like, I hope this dude ends up in fucking jail for the rest of his life, maybe even the death sentence. Okay, usually I don't think many people for many crimes should die. I honestly don't think if you kill people you should die, but I think if you're like a sex offender, if you fuck kids, or if you know, you're a pedophile, then I feel like that's one of those crimes you definitely don't deserve to be able to live out your life for. But yeah, that's basically the video. I hope you guys liked it. Again, everything's a regurgitation of CoffeeZilla. Go watch his video. It is genuinely one of the like most well-produced and thought-out YouTube videos I've seen in a very long time, and I'd highly recommend the video. But I'm gonna stop sucking his dick. This video's over. Peace.